All right, welcome back everyone to Plant-Based Kidney Health. As always, I'm Dr. Sean Hashmi. My partner is Michele Crosmer. We are Plant-Based Kidney Health for you guys. And today's question was, how can someone add more plant-based foods to their diet without getting constipated? So what do you think, Michele?
So in short, and of course I'll dive into this a little more slowly and consistently, is important. But overall, I think it's important to think one, constipation, but sometimes other GI side effects, things like bloating or gas, or sometimes what people complain of as they're adding more whole plant-based foods to their diet. And really what it is they're getting more fiber in their diet, or that's in general what it is. So it's important, first of all, to remember that our gut or our GI tract is a muscle. It needs to be exercised. You can't go from consuming 10 to 15 grams of fiber in an entire day, which is what is pretty common for the standard American diet, to consuming 10 to 15 grams of fiber every single meal and just expect that your body can handle it. It really does need to, slowly work up to that amount and then have consistency in the diet. So that can look, and everyone is different and you want to pay attention to your symptoms. But what I would say with that is, one is really start with fruits and vegetables. Those are things that we've talked about, the numerous benefits for kidney health and overall health, but they contain fiber, but they contain varying amounts. And so simply by saying, okay, I'm going to add an extra cup of veggies, an extra cup of fruit a day, you're going to get more fiber in your diet, but you're not going to get, an extra 20, 30 grams all at one time. The other thing you can do too, especially if you notice with veggies, sometimes people have a little bit harder time digesting raw vegetables. So you can cook the vegetables and start with that. But that's a good place to start. The other thing too is by slowly and in small amounts and then slowly increasing some of those higher fiber whole plant foods. So sometimes things like seeds, like flax seeds and chia seeds, or beans, lentils, legumes. Those are some of the more common foods that people will say make them gassy or bloated or constipated. And so for that, I think it's important, especially when we think of beans and legumes, half a cup of beans can be anywhere from 7 to 10 grams of fiber. And if that's what you normally eat in a day, or you roughly that, and you just have that all at once, again, you can kind of, stress out your gut. So start with maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons that you add to your meal. Do that for a couple days or a week, and then increase the amount. So you're giving your body time. So that's the slow part of it. And then the other side of it is consistency. So with fiber and with adding these whole plant foods, you do want to be consistent. If you have 50 grams of fiber one day and the next day you have 20 and then you have 40 and then you have 15, that's a lot harder for your body and your gut to get used to. And so you want to be consistent with it. It's better to start slow, be consistent, and then work your way up to larger portions than to just go in all crazy and then feel like, oh, I can't tolerate this. The other side of that is, if we think of fiber in these foods, they're helping to bulk up and form a better stool or bowel movement. And they're also helping with the motility of moving that bowel movement along. And water and hydration is important for that, as well as being active or having some physical movement. So those are other things that can help too with preventing that constipation, is making sure you're drinking enough water. And we have other episodes on water and hydration, but making sure you're drinking enough water, especially as you're increasing fiber in your diet. And then also looking at, are you being physically active, or do you sit at a desk job all day? You never get up for hours and hours at a time. Those are things that are important to look at. So go slow, slowly increase, pay attention to, foods that might be triggering a little bit more discomfort for you or constipation. And you can simply, use an alternative for that, or cook it better so that you digest it a little bit better, but then work your way up and make sure you're drinking plenty of water, and then that you're being active as well. So that is it for that. Again, there's tons and tons of benefits of getting more of these whole plant-based foods in. If you are struggling with some of that constipation or other GI side effects, then, work your way up to it and be patient, and we will see you guys all next time.